Noah, everyone who reads it must converse. Happy Sunday. Hope you got your coffee. I saw Felicity McCarthy's. Her channel is My House is a Library. It's a wonderful channel, brand new channel. And she shared a video. I watched it this morning, and her shirt it says "Death before decaf," and I was like, yes. So I'm doing something different this week. I've had technical difficulties. I don't run into them very often because I keep my tech very simple. My tech is, stuff that I can handle easily. I keep, I don't have too many devices, things like this. I don't network them all together. I just use my devices for what I use them for. But my laptop um, just crapped out on me. Just decided to not keep going. So I was unable to get my live going on Friday night. So this is supplemental content. Gonna go over what I've read, what I'm doing. I am in the middle of revising a short story of mine and gonna let it out. It was on my laptop though. So some rewriting is in order now. And I feel like maybe I might do it on some sprints here if people want to do some reading sprints or some writing sprints, things like that. Might run some sprints this morning. I'm going to keep it really laid back. So, all right, I saw a few people hanging out and just say, hey, well, whatever. We'll keep it real laid back and talking like a normal Friday live. And if we decide, the people that are hanging out decide to do some sprints or something like that, then we can do it. And it'll be cool, I think. All right, so of course, reading the Book of the New Sun, which is Gene Wolfe. Got through the second book of the Book of the New Sun. This is The Claw of the Conciliator. There's a huge group reading this. Christina at Books Knitting, etc. Tom L.A. Books. Greg at Another Bibliophile Reads. Nancy, uh, the channel is Moon Palm. She's reading it. Jim Reads Too Slow is in that group reading this as well. There's a lot of booktubers along and also friends that are not content creators. Alexa, my boy from Serbia, is is reading this along with us too, and a couple that are not, not content creators. Hey Conrad, what's up? Happy Friday. Or happy Sunday, right? See how quick I still happy Friday. I'm used to doing these lives on Friday, so it's a different one. Claw of the Conciliator, the second volume. This is 4 volumes, 4 works in one. The second book is even more confusing and wild and trippy than the first book. There's, it's like some of the most epic sci-fi that you might come in contact with. Something on the level of Star Wars, just something big. And yet it just throws you for a loop and you're like, what is happening here? Like what is this story? It's very intertwined with memory and experience and reality itself. What are we doing here? This kind of thing. And not giving it to you straightforward, like a philosophical thing. There's musings, but then as far the book is very plot heavy, so things are just happening. It's almost random. You just whisked away almost like a whiplash. You just everything changes up so quick, and you're just like, well, where's our guys at? Where's our characters at? What are they doing now? And you have to reread because you get one line or 2 lines of something happening, and then boom, that's it. Hey, Margaret Prenard, really enjoyed the karaoke yesterday. That was fun. I love karaoke, man. I love singing, and I love singing 90s alternative rock, the kind of stuff y'all were doing with Nirvana and stuff. I'll do some Alice in Chains. I'll do some stuff like that. So very cool. Very very much enjoy it. Margaret Prenard is doing cool content over there. What's up, Una? Happy Sunday. We're doing it a little different today. My laptop crapped out on me, so I'm on my wife's laptop here, and I have some work to do as far as getting things straight on that. When are we reading Sinning? Um, Whenever you want, brother. I'm definitely down for it. I'm definitely down for it. And I'll read it in a day. We could do some reading sprints now. On this live right here, we could do some reading sprints, and I could grab that and read it. Even do it, read it through one time today. So let's see. We got. I mean, it's not long at all, right? Let's see. We got one, two, three, 4 pager. It's a 4 pager, baby. Yes. I will do Alice in Chains next. I don't know how you set it up, but if you can, you know, it's easy enough. You just tell me and I'll do it and get on, and yeah, I'll get on and do some karaoke. I'm not afraid to embarrass myself. But I do enjoy singing. Whether or not I do it well enough for other people to enjoy me singing is something. Okay. But I do enjoy it for sure. Tight. Working on Faulkner, yeah, Summer of Snope stuff right now. Okay. Yeah, let's do a video this week. I'm down for it. We could do an evening. I know how you roll, and we both are seasoned enough where we can just kind of throw a link and we'll get there. Uh, we have Voxer, so let's chat a little bit if there's something to say about how we want to approach it after we read it. Yeah, I'm very excited. That hell screen we did, Una and I and Crypto, the Codex Cantina boys and I did an out to, I gotta look at the name to pronounce it right. Akutagawa. We did a story by Akutagawa called Hell Screen, and we did it for Halloween. It was a really trippy, messed up story. Definitely like what you would expect for a Halloween story, right? It was very affecting. So I'm excited to see where he goes with this. What's up, Idget Reads and Rambles? Quentin in the house. I'm gonna be talking some Brautigan today too. So that's Book of the New Sun I talked about. Maybe I'll talk about it a little bit more if people show up that want to hear some more about Book of the New Sun. I'll be doing some content on Book of the New Sun. I think we might do some content with some of the uh, parts of some of the readers that are in the group, because we are talking quite about it, quite a lot about it. And other than that, I've been reading a couple of shorter works, and very cool. And hey Gorvidal, happy Sunday for sure. I'm sure people are going to show up. Everybody gets the same notification that they do as on a Friday, but nobody's ready for it or anything. So it's probably going to be a little bit of a different group, but I'm real happy to see you guys for sure. Yeah. So I read this entire volume. This has a Confederate general from Big Sur, Dreaming of Babylon, and then this last week, right now, I just read the Hawkline Monster. Wow. I think a Confederate general from Big Sur I liked a lot. It was real weird and had all these Brautigan type things as far as I can see. Very sensual, very sexual, there's some like gross out. It's very surreal, very abstract in ways, historically abstract, and then also very tender and very human. There's an understanding with Brautigan. Not that he understands everything. It's that he reaches out with understanding toward everybody, towards all of humanity. There's not judgment. There's not critiquing in Brautigan. There's just allowing things to be what they are. Dreaming of Babylon was fun. I thought it was hilarious. This just PI wannabe that is just completely inept, and he'd rather just daydream his day away, and totally incompetent. And you get hooked up in this story. You get hooked up in the story with this guy in Dreaming of Babylon. It's fun. But the Hawkline monster is kind of like a gothic western. You're with two very, bad guys. They're hired killers. They're just killers. And you follow them, they get involved with some really trippy supernatural stuff. And it's cool. It was cool. I wanna talk about it more, but I won't spoil anything. I won't go into it because we will be doing some Brautigan content. I'm gonna get with my boy Christopher Robinson over on Instagram. I did some content with him before. Christopher Robinson was with me on a live, I believe, and we're just gonna talk all through Brautigan. So when we do that, we're gonna talk through pretty much everything that I've read. He's read everything. He loves Brautigan, and so we're just gonna roll with it. Hey, baby, Emily's in the house. She's out there with Zelda, chilling, probably watching some TV, but also watching, keeping one eye on me, right? Very cool. Yeah, he's such a compassionate writer, really. It shows through. And you don't find that kind of voice in a male author. You just don't. What's up, PG? Bruh, how you doing? You know what? I started So the Wind Won't Blow It All Away. That's Brautigan's final novel. I started it and I was not in a good headspace for it when I started it. Not like I was, feeling this kind of way, but I just didn't want to I didn't want to, read that kind of content. It's very much preoccupied with suicidal thoughts. And I'm not plagued by suicidal thoughts myself, something like that. I can postulate, or I could just think about stuff, and I'm okay with staying in a mental space. But it just wasn't my cup of tea at that moment. Not to say that it wasn't my thing, like I'm not gonna like it, but it just was not where I wanted to be when I started it. So I moved on. I just did. That was right before I did Dreaming of Babylon. I think I had started So the Wind Won't Blow It All Away. I don't own a physical copy, so I got it on Audible. It was free. There's a lot of free Brautigan on Audible. So I got it and started listening to it and was like, nah, not right now. And just moved to something different. Um, I'm reserving a judgment, that's for sure. I won't kind of say how I feel about something unless I've read it, unless I've got the whole thing. But just the first part, I mean, I really only did it might have been 5 to 7 pages and was like, not right now, you know? And I hadn't felt like that about any other Brautigan work. I can say that my least favorite so far of Brautigan's works is probably Trout Fishing in America. It was just too abstract, too, floating out in the ether with it wasn't even threads. It wasn't even threads. It's like smoke. There was not a lot of substance that I could pull from there. Maybe a reread, but whatever. My favorite is probably still In Watermelon Sugar. What a story! So very cool. More Brautigan coming up if you guys want to talk about Brautigan, for sure. But like I said, we might do some content on it tonight, like me and Chris. So see, this live right here is really random because I'm kind of planning on getting together with Chris tonight and doing that collaborative talk just about Brautigan. So I'll be doing two uh, lives like this, or two pieces of content in a day, which is not normal for me, right? Chekhov stories, right on, right on. Very cool. I have complete Chekhov's stories, and I think I also have a volume of his complete plays, but I haven't got into them. The only ones that I've got into is ones that I've seen Una, my boy, doing content on. There was some for Christmas. They did a Russian Christmas and Chekhov's story, and that was really weird, really cool. Witches and you know witches riding in the Christmas, the winter sky and Christmas. It's like a mixture of Christmas and Halloween kind of feels, and really weird. Like totally, we wouldn't think it was a Christmas story, right? So I started, and I had read this book before, but I didn't remember a lot of it because it had been so long since I read it. So I said, well, it's time for a reread of this one. So I started All Hallows Eve by Charles Williams. And like I said, I've read it before, but it was something that all the details were lost on me. Um, Now I'm about halfway through, so I'm not going to talk too much about it, but it is like how you would, if you've read any Charles Williams, then it's more of what Charles Williams does. Dense conversations, very high level conversations between people who are very serious about what they're talking about. I mean, they might be joking with each other. They're friends and they're joking and all this stuff, but they're not idly speaking. They are there to communicate and to have real interaction and conversation, and it happens on every page. And it's very the plot, the story is moved along a lot through dialogue, meetings, and conversation. Something like some Jane Austen, something like these a book where it is so and so and so and so meeting up, talking, and then they depart. One goes and meets somebody else and is doing something, and there's conversation and things happening there. They depart. Other people meet up, and it's just a lot of conversation. Not there is a lot. There is narrative exposition for sure, but with this, the conversation is where all the ideas are. His um his different characters are all mouthpieces for different aspects of uh being a person, being human. And these people all, some of them, their motivations are at odds. And that's the big thing in Charles Williams stories, is that you're concerned with the motivations of characters. Are they, are they making the right decision? Are they not? Are they are they evil? Are they, are they being malicious? And there's always very, very evil or dark characters that have really bad intentions in Charles Williams' work. And there is always, from what I can tell, I haven't read all of his stuff. There's characters that are pure, that are good, that want just the goodness. And I love Charles Williams. If you guys don't know, Charles Williams is one of my favorite authors of all time. He was a member of the Inklings, in the writing group with C.S. Lewis and J.R.R. Tolkien and Owen Barfield. They were a powerhouse Oxford writing group. Charles Williams was a member of many uh, kind of spiritual groups, spiritual fraternities. The Rosicrucians being probably the most well known, but he was very involved in Hermeticism, Kabbalah, occult stuff, and it is all through his works. It's tough to get into Charles Williams stuff if you don't have any uh, previous experience with things like Hermeticism, Kabbalah, Rosicrucian ideas, things like that. But look at these editions. This is my box set that I found just over this last year. I had some of these, but then I found this complete set. So I'm going to show you because the freaking covers of this is awesome. Descent into Hell is one of my favorites. One of my favorites for sure. I love The Manifold Destiny of Eddie Vegas, Connor. It's great. War in Heaven is probably my favorite. And simply because it is so fast paced. This is a breakneck novel. You're breathless. You're just completely breathless. It's a chase. There's the most evil bad guy, like the most evil person is uh, the antagonist here. Get it, go for it. War in Heaven is a wild ride. Shadows of Ecstasy. This is one that I have not read. The Place of the Lion. This is a really cool book. This is kind of like what Charles Williams does. Uh, Plato's archetypes, which are animal archetypes, right? Pla- Plato's archetypes become manifest in the world. So we're in the English countryside, and there's a great thunder strike, uh, and and thunder rolling over the countryside, and it sounds like a lion's roar, and there is the lion power unleashed on the world. Now, these animal archetypes are personified by people in the community that resonate with that particular archetype. So this one woman is a really conniving, manipulative kind of person, I think, if I remember correctly. But she becomes the snake. Like she's a snake woman. Not physically, but in her actions. So these people, that they start acting crazy. They start going nuts. And it's really Charles Williams is very high paced, very thrilling writing. And the end, I mean, he's so good at climax. It's ridiculous. I could tell you like what the climax is of every book. What the scene, like the thing that happens, and it wouldn't spoil it, but it's just it's such a thrust. Charles Williams was a great writer. The Greater Trumps I really love. This is Terra, using the Terra and Terra archetypes in a story. And there is a scene in this of a snowstorm, a metaphysical snowstorm that is unleashed on our main characters in the house, and it is amazing. It is totally mind blowing how awesome Charles Williams can describe things like this. And then we have Many Dimensions. Look at this cover, dude. I mean, like, honestly, some of the coolest covers I have is this set right here. It's just too cool. You get the same vibe from the Dostoevsky stories. Nice, very cool. Yeah, just being, um, you know, having a care for the disenfranchised, right? Um, but also, yeah, people do get into talking, talking about other people's situations in a gossipy way, even though you're doing it for understanding, right? I do have a book that has helped me dig into some of Charles Williams' work because I do, like I say, it is tough to know what he's. I mean, you're really just in this weird world where magic and occultism is part of the part of what can happen, part of what does happen, and so anything helps, right? This is The Novels of Charles Williams by Thomas Howard. Thomas Howard was a professor of English at St. John's Seminary in Massachusetts. This is a fantastic companion to Charles Williams' work. It goes through almost all of his novels, if not every single one of them. So All Hallows Eve is the penultimate uh, story that it goes through. Descent into Hell is the final, and Descent into Hell might be his best novel, like in form. It's really cool. it's two parallel stories that are kind of going along with each other, maybe three, but they're all intertwined. They're all happening in the same place, and all the characters are interacting and all that kind of stuff. But you're kind of in, you're invested in two people. You're like two people's stories very, very strongly. And Charles Williams novels can be complex. There's some of it is just complex. So it just is what it is. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you're not, it's all good, because it's just a storytelling mode that's very different. I mean, it's unique. So this is a great little companion. Ignatius Press put it out. This will help you with your Charles Williams if you want to try some, and you try some Charles Williams and you just think, man, what is he talking about? This is so dense. I can't keep following along. It can be like that. It be like that sometimes, right? Like my 18-year-old says, it be like that. He also has epic poems. Yeah, he did. He also has epic poems, and he has epic theology. He has a whole lot of writings, theological writings on Dante's Divine Comedy, and I can't wait to read some of that. There's parts of Charles Williams' work that has been on my shelf to read. This one here, this is some of his theological writings. He Came Down from Heaven and The Forgiveness of Sins by Charles Williams. So I'll give it to you here. On the back here, these two long essays make up, with Descent of the Dove, Charles Williams' principal theological writing. With these books and with the figure of Beatrice, the reader is fully equipped as possible for studying the religious thought of this brilliant poet, novelist, essayist, and historian. Charles Williams was one of the finest, not to mention one of the most unusual theologians of the 20th century. His mysticism is palpable. The unseen world interpenetrates ours at every point, and spiritual exchange occurs all along, all the time, unseen and largely unlooked for. His novels are legend, and as a member of the Inklings, he contributed to the mythopoetic revival in contemporary culture. And so, I mean, he's a giant. He's a giant, a literary giant, a spiritual giant, and deserves to be read. And, you know, completely overshadowed by J.R.R. Tolkien and C.S. Lewis, right? Literarily speaking, just completely overshadowed. So, I love him. I'll do more and more to turn people on to Charles Williams, because I've never been disappointed. Even his book, like, what's my least favorite Charles Williams book? It's like not even a real question, because they're just good. There's some that are better than others, sure, but they're all great. He's such a writer, and his starts are so strong. I mean, like, the first lines of the first paragraphs are so strong, and the climaxes are so strong. It's just great. I'll give you the first paragraph. It's one sentence of War in Heaven by Charles Williams. The telephone bell was ringing wildly, but without result, since there was no one in the room but the corpse. Yes. There is in Descent into Hell. If I can, it's like right at the beginning, another strong, super strong start. But this character actually, yeah, it's in the second chapter, and it's called Via Mortis. So, by way of death, right? And that was it. I mean, it goes back in time. You're talking about, you're in the same place as the rest of the story. But There it is. He we go back in time and we're following a construction worker that is building the homes that now people are living in and having their life, our characters that we're following in the story. So we go back in time, and as these buildings are being built, we meet a construction worker who's having a very bad life and is going to commit suicide. And so he does. And it he dies in the middle of a sentence, a paragraph. When it starts, he's alive. When you finish the sentence, you're in the ghost world. It is awesome. I mean, and it's just unbelievable. Yeah, there you go. That's right, Gore. That's right. Sometimes it starts off like that one liner that or the first paragraph even after that in War in Heaven is great. You're just right there in it, sucked into this story. War in Heaven is amazing. But with this one, there's so many intriguing ideas that are in this story. This one is and Charles Williams does put some of his theological ideas in the books. One character in this Descent into Hell has an idea and lives um, his life in a way that Charles Williams feels is Jesus's, kind of charge. We're charged to live like this, and it is called um, it's called the doctrine of what is it? I can't remember. What is the name of it? I'll find it. I know exactly where it's written down. Descent into Hell is 247. So, and I do talk about this and go into it, and I do have a video that is just about um Charles Williams, and in that I do talk about this right here, this kind of idea that I'm going to say it. I just don't want to say it wrong. It's called the doctrine of substituted love. That's what it is. The doctrine of substituted love is when someone offers to do for someone what they cannot do for themselves. Inside, offering to bear another's sphere. It strikes the person as nonsense first. Of course, how could you bear somebody else's sphere? But he refers to St. Paul, the character in the book refers to St. Paul about bearing one another's burdens and thus fulfilling Christ's law. So if somebody is scared of heights or something like this, you offer, or somebody else would offer to work themselves up and be scared. Give them, feed into that for themselves and let the other person know that they're doing that for them. Put yourself in their shoes and feel the fear and stuff and take that and in some metaphysical way take that away from them where they will have less or no fear and be able to do it because you are carrying that burden for them. I go into it even more. It's more than just that, but there's a very quick kind of overview of the doctrine of substituted love, and it's cool. I mean, it's unusual, right? Like it says, Charles Williams might be one of the most unusual writers or theological writers that there has ever been. But it's very, very interesting and worth reading. That's for sure. I love it. Love that stuff. So, I will say, like, that's right. I That's what gurus do. Yeah. I I've been roped into reading some big books this year. And we're gonna read some big books this year. I've talked about reading the Flower Adornment Sutra. book 39 of the Avatamsaka Sutra, I'm doing that. Jack at Rambling Raconteur and I are going to do it. I have the Thomas Cleary translation, and that I had printed out. I printed it out in my own and put it here. The Thomas Cleary translation of book 39, entry into the realm of reality. That one there, this is what I have. And I have another translation of book 39, entry into the realm of reality. And that is this one. It's called, in this one is translated entering the Dharma realm. And that's fine. Just like Flower Adornment Sutra is also in the Thomas Cleary is Flower Ornament Scripture. So there's different translations how it's done. But the actual name of this is the Avatamsaka, Avatamsaka. And you can find it. You can find it online or whatever. We're just reading chapter 39. Chapter 39 is its own book, and chapter 39 is a mind blow. Okay? I love it. It's like one of the most trippiest hallucinogenic Buddhist sutras there is. Avatamsaka Sutra is called the King of Sutras because it is the grandest, the biggest, the most infinite, and the never ending. The Avatamsaka Sutra is concerned with infinity and only infinity, the infinity of reality and what this is, and actually the infinity of consciousness, of being, because that's the only thing that can experience. So without something to experience, there is no thing that is being experienced, right? It's that kind of it's an understanding of that the second that there is something, then there is consciousness somewhere. There's consciousness present that is experiencing that something. Good luck at work, brother. Have a good day, PG. Thanks for coming by. So it's wild because when it's talking about different aspects of reality, there is completely um oceans and oceans, vast, infinite of, and that's the terms that it's described in. So you really get into this wild place very quickly in the Avatamsaka Sutra. And chapter 39, entry into the realm of reality, is, after you've read all the other stuff, pretty much, right? After it's not at the beginning of the sutra, but it is a recapitulation. Chapter 39, entering into the Dharma realm, is a recapitulation of everything that had come before. It is a journey. It is a neophyte setting out on his spiritual journey. And I can't wait. I can't wait to read it. I can't wait to read it with Jack because it's going to be fun. All right, so I wonder if we want to do some reading sprints, if we want to do. I am writing. I've been writing slowly but surely and revising a story that I've been doing. So I've been doing that, trying to keep it quiet, right? Not talk about what I'm doing, because once I say something, then people want to see it, right? So I don't want to say anything until I have a product, right? Until I have something to show, and then I'll go ahead and be able to share it, right? But with the computer messing up, now I have to start all over on this thing, and I don't know if I'm gonna even get it done by. There is a deadline for it, and I was set to hit the deadline, but I'm just not. I'm not. I'm not great on the laptop. Writing, typing like that. I type at my own pace. I do it. I don't just crank it out. I'm really slow and deliberate with typing. It's really faster for me to write things out and then just type, to copy what I've written. But it doesn't really go fast by any stretch of the imagination. So whatever. I'm down to do some reading sprints. If you guys want to take a minute and read, or maybe we could do like 15 minutes, grab a cup of coffee, chill out a little bit, and I'll read a little bit. I mean, Una already gave me a great suggestion, but if I can, then I'm going to get minimize my live here on the laptop and go ahead and see if I can start writing, start rewriting this again. Because I don't know. I mean, I might be able to pull it off of my other laptop at some point, but I'm really gonna have to figure out how to get that thing booted up properly. it's not it's not happening. We can put on some cool music if we want to. Man, I do want to do the mid-year book freakout tag too. That's something that I've done on my channel every year. I do the mid-year book freakout tag. So when I started my channel, it was like January, January 1st, right? And I started it, and then so 6 months just about after I started my channel, then people are doing the mid-year book freakout tag. And I saw it and I'm like, man, this is really cool. This is the way to go. I love this kind of tag. And so I did it, and now it's a thing. I mean, I do it annually, and this will be my third mid-year book freakout tag. So I can't wait to do that. I'll definitely record that content sometime this week. Whether I'll drop it this week, I don't know, maybe next week, but time to do it. It is time for it. All right. Really laid back today. That's what I like. Happy Sunday, y'all. So I did along with doing the Avatamsaka Sutra soon, I got roped into another big book. This is Terra Nostra. I know you, Gore Vidal, have some experience with Carlos Fuentes. I don't know if you've ever read Terra Nostra. I don't know if you've mentioned that to me or not, but I'm jumping in. I haven't ever read it. I haven't even cracked this copy. Look at this. I got this at Half Price Books for very cheap, and it is. I mean, it's pristine. So I'll be digging into this. What a beast, right? I mean, this thing is giant. But the table of contents of this thing look like right up my alley, like just my style. Okay. So it is set up, it looks like maybe historically, because there's old world and there's new world. And then there's the next world, right? So in the old world, you get all this kind of um things that are like the boat, the city of the sun, the little inquisitor, the women of the castle, the falcon and the dove, the kiss of the page, here and now, the silent hour, extortion, the dogs, Juan Agrippa, disaster's importance, hawks and hazards, the palace idiot. These kind of things are, of a time gone past, right? Very cool. Very cool, Conrad. You reading along, you doing Terra Nostra with us? Fantastic. So in the new world, we have a little bit more talking about the legends, but also the now of 19th century, right? People of the jungle, ancient legend. And I will preface this by saying we're talking about, Latin America, Spanish American culture. Uh, and indigenous cultures from Central and South America, right? So that's the culture that we're concerned with in this. The old world and then the new world. Um, the end of the new world starts this kind of thing where it's like, I'll give you the last seven chapters titles: Day of the Water, Night of the Phantom, Day of the Smoking Mirror, Night of the Volcano, Day of the Lagoon, Night of Reflections, Day of Flight, Night of the Return. So it starts getting into some, there's structure embedded in this kind of thing that I don't know about yet. And then in the next world is really where I see things that are totally up my alley, of course. The first chapter is love of water. And then we have things like the first child, the Kabbalah, the second child, the Zohar, the somnambulist, the Sephirot of the Kabbalah of the Jewish Kabbalah, right? Memory on the lips, the specter of time, Simon in Toledo, or Simon in Toledo, the prophecy of the third age, the theater of memory. I mean, just there's it just going by table of contents. I'm like, I want to see what he's saying. I want to get into this. This is it's just I haven't read a lot of big books this year. It's time, right? It's time. This book has been sitting on my shelf for about, I would say, like 9 months. I got it. I found it at Half Price Books, along with Carlos Fuentes' first novel. Um, and there they sat because it wasn't part of what I was going to read anytime soon. Boom, it's on, baby. Killer. All right. Very cool. So I don't know if we want to take some time and chill, or I'll just cut it for the day. I mean, it's 40, we gone like 46, 47 minutes now, which is fine. I just wanted to do my wrap up and have it be cool. Put this out here for everybody to be able to know and keep up with what it is that I am reading, what kind of content you might uh, get in the future, or just telling me, hey, um, I'd love to hear about that book or hear you talk about this. There is another type of content that I was thinking about making. I might not do it on this channel. I might start another channel with. I have a buddy named Ryan. He's a great writer. We've done some content before. You remember not too long ago we did a whole Stephen King kind of, just discussion and hanging out. He's a big Stephen King fan. Read a lot of his works. And me too, of course. So I was we were kicking around an idea. He's a big movie guy. He was big into movies and acting. He was a drama kid back in school. I've known him since high school. We're best friends, totally best friends. So we watch movies when we get together. We talk movies when we talk on the phone all the time. Talk different movies, but we have quite a divergence on what movies we've seen because he's lived in Arizona for a long time since high school. I've seen him. We've hung out a few times, but there's been long stretches of time when we weren't interacting. And now he's living back in Georgia. So now he's really close, and we hang out more. So there's a lot of things that he's seen and that I've seen that each other has not. And so we talk about movies and there's just this disparagement. So we had an idea of doing content of on movies and I want to keep it kind of like my content here where what I'm doing is talking about storytelling and what I like about a book or a story or whatever it is and making the content something that is not overly critical but we are critiquing work and saying what it is, what we liked about it, what we didn't, that kind of thing, but also what we think people that what was being tried, whether it was effective, whether whether it gave us the feel that we thought the director, writer, whatever was going for, that kind of stuff. And for that reason, we're gonna pick things that are not just like loved across the board and not just hated either, not just hated but we love it, something like that, right? We're going to pick things that there's a healthy amount on either side of this, So let me know what you think about this idea. If you've made it to the end of the live today, this is what I'm going to leave you with. Um, we were thinking about doing content on the M. Night Shyamalan Unbreakable series. That's Unbreakable. This movie, Unbreakable, Split, James McAvoy, and Glass is the third movie in the series. So the idea is to, and we've already rewatched them all three, and we've talked about them a bit. The idea is just to get on and talk about the series, what we thought was the goal, what the ambition was, whether it was effective, what and just our take on it. We are, I think we're smart enough or whatever to have things to say that are interesting. And I know Ryan is a great, he's great at analyzing storytelling, especially in a visual medium. And I love movies. I don't watch them as much as I used to. I hate being disappointed in movies, just like I hate being disappointed in books. So I go for something to watch something when I feel like it's going to be great, or if it's by somebody that I just watch everything by, like Paul Thomas Anderson, Terry Gilliam, Tarantino, of course, things like that. I have, Darren Aronofsky. I'm going to watch whatever they put out at least once and make my mind up for myself because I love them. And case in point, Aronofsky's Mother, I've only seen it one time. Not because I didn't like it, it's because I don't want to put that mental image in my mind any more than one viewing already has, right? It's very hardcore and very hard to take, to tell you the truth. So leave a comment, let me know, anybody who's there making it to the end here, let me know what you think about doing some content on stories, on movies, on visual medium of storytelling, because like I said, we might do that kind of thing. Might kick it off on this channel, one or two episodes, one or two videos like that. But we might just start a new channel because you never know how YouTube is, and you can't ever figure YouTube out. You can't. So very cool. All right, y'all. It is a laid back Sunday. We've almost gone an hour. And I might be on later on tonight for anybody who is up for Richard Brautigan exploration. We might go all through all of his works. I know that my boy Christopher has read everything by him, I believe. And so we'll get there. Thank you very much for coming in, jumping on with me this Sunday AM. And catch you on the next one, book team. Bye bye.